guys, episode 4 of Going All In with the Cooks, and we're going to be talking about starting the Tintstitute, when we started the Tintstitute, why we started the Tintstitute, and are we glad that we did. From my perspective, 2017, I'm sitting in the spa and I'm listening to Dotcom Secrets, and I love everything he's talking about, but all the strategies in that book were not applicable to the business we currently had, which was, at the time, quality tinting and signs. So I got really excited about starting an online company. I really wanted to start a company with .com in the name, specifically in the name, meaning we can have .com as a part of the logo. I just thought that was really cool at the time because I wanted to start a company that was scalable, and I wanted to start a company that we could use the internet to help market it, meaning it didn't have to be confined to here in San Luis Obispo, California. If we could find a customer in Michigan, we can find a customer across seas, we can find a customer in Florida, and be able to market towards everyone that was online. So I came inside, I was listening to that book in the spa, I came inside and I said, babe, that's it, we need to start a .com company.
Yeah,
what is your recollection from that evening?
Well, just backing up a little bit, in addition to being able to market this company worldwide or whatever we're going to be offering, we didn't want to have to trade our time for money. So we didn't want to have a retail situation like we'd already been to, or even a service-based company where the labor has to be done to get paid. So we were like, how can we, or you were like, how can we sell information to people all across the US, something that we can make one time and even repackage into different products and sell over and over again to different people. So you read the book, you were super inspired. I feel like you walked in the door, you were still in your towel and swim trunks and announced that we were starting a business, which, wasn't foreign to me because once we got comfortable with something, you were already on to the next mission.
Yeah, so at the time, I don't remember thinking that I wanted to be able to create products that we create once and sell over and over again. That might have been the case, but I feel like that evolved and I started to look through that lens more and more as time went on. I was really just keen on, from my perspective, I was really just keen on being able to use everyone in the world and leveraging the internet to sell things on the internet. I also thought at the time that by having a company that was more digital, that I would use more of your skill sets.
Yeah, well, and when we were thinking about what type of business that we were going to have, the reason that my mind goes to information is we were like, what are we qualified to even teach other people, because we wanted it to be something where we're using our knowledge to be able to sell. So we're like, what are we even qualified to do? And we're like, well, we definitely have a better relationship than most people, so maybe we should do that. And I was like, well, we don't really have kids, so how many people are in a serious relationship that don't have kids? Like, is our market really going to be that big? And are we eligible to talk about relationships if we don't have kids?
So that goes back to the other book, Crushing It, and that whole book revolves around the idea that everyone is an expert at something. And you could make a business out of literally anything when you talk about marketing towards the 4 billion monthly users that are on Instagram. So if you're an expert at cooking, if you're an expert at tying shoes, if you're an expert at billiards, if you're an expert at relationships. So we started asking ourselves, what are we an expert at? And at that time, we had already been working together for a substantial amount of time. From 2000, 5 years, 2012 to 2017. And so we were already getting asked by a lot of friends and families, how do you guys work together? I could never work with my significant other. And so I had that idea of starting a couples channel or obviously tinting. Mm-hmm. And we went back and forth on both. We even considered doing both, I think, for a while, because obviously we had no business. So over the course of, from my recollection, a couple of weeks or even a month, we were going back and forth between the two. And I remember you saying, let's do tinting because you're already an expert at that. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, that's it, we'll do tinting. And that way also it doesn't distract me from our core business, quality, because I can incorporate a lot of the content that I was going to start doing with the business.
Yeah, we were already, and that's kind of how a lot of our businesses have started. It's like, how does this like parallel or play off of the current business we have? So we're already there, you're already an expert, and then from there we're like, okay, so we're gonna make a course, we're gonna make some sort of subscription. The first product that we ever decided to have for the Tintstitute was a subscription model. And
that's another thing that turned me on, is having a small purchase price but lots of people. Things have changed over the years. It gets more challenging than you think to sell a small dollar amount product, a small purchase price product to a lot of people. But nevertheless, we still have the membership business model. I'm still very happy with our decision. But if you haven't read the book Crushing It, it's highly recommend it. It'll get you excited about building a personal brand and using social media, which I say this all the time, but it still blows my mind. It's free to post on Instagram. It's free to start an Instagram account. That's crazy, because now, all these years later, I've proven you can make millions from a free Instagram account. Whereas here at our shop, our rent is, $8,500 a month? Our payroll is how much every 2 weeks?
$40,000.
$40,000 in payroll every 2 weeks, $8,000 a month rent. I mean, tons of overhead.
It's actually $11,000 in rent.
$11,000 in rent. And yes, it's profitable, but it's not nearly as scalable or as profitable as what you can make from a free Instagram account. Now, obviously, there's other hurdles and challenges, but those challenges excited me at the time and still excite me to this day. Like, it's something you can do anywhere in the world. It's something, obviously, we always have our phone with us, and a personal brand is about posting a lot of personal content. It's how you build a connection. And by the way, when it comes to building a personal brand, you have no competition, because there's no one that's exactly like you. So when you make it about yourself, you're eliminating all competition.
Yeah, and then, going back to the point where we're like, okay, we're gonna do tinting. I remember you and I was doing Google searches, like, how big is this market really? And we're like, oh my gosh, is there even enough people in this industry to make this worthwhile? And I think obviously we decided to move forward, and first thing we did was start drafting like logos, just started shooting content. I mean, it seems like it was yesterday when we started, but I don't know if you remember back then in 2017, which was almost 10 years ago now, it was still a very closed industry. People did put out YouTube content here and there, but there wasn't that much how-to. There wasn't any subscription model for learning how to tint. And so it was all relatively new. And when we first came out with our product, we even got like hate phone calls. Like, why are you giving away secrets and this and that? Yeah. So I just want to take everyone back to like how it was still a closed model. I mean, brands like Lumar and Expel were kind of just starting to get dealer conferences and going and bringing people in the industry together.
Yep. Yeah. Tintdo.com was the main resource for information, and absolutely, I was like one of the first people to pull back the curtain and show people how things were done. I didn't have nearly the amount of success we have now, but you don't need to be the most successful person to help other people. You just need to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of the people that you're helping. And so going back to building a personal brand, a lot of times people think, well, there's already someone doing this, there's already someone doing that. But there can't be too many. Like, I watch some of the other creators. I know a lot of our following watches them as well. And just like we listen to multiple rap artists or multiple country artists, there can't be too many, because we're all unique, because they're personal brands.
The other thing too, when you're on your coaching calls, that I notice is like people are worried, like am I good enough? Is my equipment good enough? Do I look good enough? Like, they're so worried about like the quality of the content. And it's like, I don't know if you remember, the very first thing that we bought for the Tintstitute was we bought a $750 camera, Lumix Panasonic camera, and a microphone. And he had no experience in front of the camera. I had no experience filming and editing, but our goal was to get 100 videos done and edited and then launch the subscription site. So we got the camera, we got the microphone, we paid someone $3,500 to create a website with a locked video library, and we shot 100 videos, and that was like, what we did from bare bones, but like...
And it was all based around installing at first. Like, we weren't thinking about digital products.
No digital products, no business. The business part of it didn't even like cross our mind. It was strictly installation. Our marketing mantra was like, we're pulling back the curtain, like you said, to a closed industry. We're giving away all of your expert secrets, but it was all installation based.
When you say the business part didn't cross our mind, you mean teaching business.
Correct.
Because we weren't nearly as successful as we are now. I mean, we were still finding our own way as far as leadership goes and building a team that we were proud of, and our shop was totally different. I looked different, I dressed different. But here's the thing that a lot of people run into when they come across the idea of building a personal brand, and you touched on this point as far as, am I good enough? Do I look good enough? That's what everyone thinks. So if everyone thinks that way, that's the reason why you should do it. I thought that way. I still think that way. So that's what motivates me to go, but if I could do it anyways, then I'm going to split myself from mainstream.
Yeah, and I think the main thing is just like, get started. Just put the post up, put the video out. It may surprise you and do great. Talking about short form content.
Yeah. Like, what do you think is the thing that's the most different from what you thought it was going to be? What do you think?
Starting the
just in the Tintstitute, like, looking back now, what we thought in 2017 versus now, like, what has been the biggest surprise?
I just had no idea it was going to evolve into what it is now. At first, it was, like you said, just tinting, just installation. I had no idea it was going to evolve into a coaching business where now you're coaching people that aren't even in our industry at all. And so just the scope of it and the reach of it, and you're not even actually installing anymore. So it's like it's completely evolved and changed into something completely bigger and different. I mean, we weren't even, like, when we originally started, we only had our sight set on the goal of the subscription library. Then we filmed 100 videos, we got them all up, we got the website ready, we were posting on Instagram. We had started an Instagram for it, and we had built up a little following, maybe
it took forever to get to 10K.
Oh,
and now it's even harder to get to 10K.
We weren't even close to 10K. I'm thinking like we had, 300 to 500 followers, and then we were like, okay, we have some followers, the website's ready. We were going to SEMA, and we were going to announce it. We had stickers printed. We had our full Tintstitute outfits. And then we had someone that was like, oh, do you guys offer hands-on training? I want to send my son. And your whole thing is like, just say yes and figure it out later. So remember, I built out a whole training brochure and was like, I went home and I was like, built out a whole thing. It looked really nice. And I was like, yep, this is what we offer. It's $800 a day, or maybe it was like $500 a day.
Yeah, we were never thinking about one-on-one hands-on training.
Yeah, no.
It was all supposed to be digital, and that was kind of something that fell into our lap. And doing hands-on training is a lot like tinting a car. You get paid once, and then to get paid again, you have to train someone else. So hands-on training is not as scalable as obviously selling digital products or physical products. Obviously, I'm a big fan of digital products because you don't have shipping costs, you don't have inventory issues. When you create a digital product, you create it once, and in order to ship it to someone, you send a free email.
So we got that first hands-on training. we were getting some traction, and then the hands-on training did evolve and become really popular, especially like when we moved to this location, you were doing a lot of hands-on training.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think the biggest challenges at our original shop when we started the Tintstitute is like finding time to film and being consistent, because we launched the subscription, we got a group of people that were excited about it, like what is it called, the early adopters, and then it like kind of fizzled out, and I was like, maybe we should just focus on quality. Like, why are we diverting our attention? Is this even worth it? And then you just kind of like push through, and you're like, no, I just want to do like one video a day or whatever it was. And you just had Ryan, one of our installers at the time, film you.
Yeah, because I think you'll always be tested. And like, if it was absolutely easy, then everyone would do it. So you have to push through those times where you start second guessing if it's worth it or not.
But it's hard because it's like with like the retail store, I was still like holding on to it when we decided to close. Remember, we went out to dinner with your mom, and I was like, is this really what we want to do? Like, we've come so far. It's hard to know like when it's dead and you need to kill it, or if it just needs longer to get traction.
Yeah, and that's really hard to know. That's really hard to know, but it's just like, I'm still obsessed with the business model of it being free to post online, it being a lot revolved around the personal brand and helping people. It's one of our core values, is helping other people succeed. So that's why there's so much fulfillment in the Tintstitute, because that's the whole goal of the entire company, is to help people. And I want to touch on that because at the beginning, we were having a hard time finding installers. Mm-hmm. So it was designed to help make more installers. Mm-hmm. Well, come to find out, although we have done that to some extent, having instructional videos only work if you have someone that's willing to put in the time and effort into watching them and then executing on practicing. So it's still hard to motivate someone when the carrot is only making $30, $35, $40 an hour, or 25, 30, 40, 50% commission on a car. It's still not easy to make 6+ figures tinting cars. Mm-hmm. So therefore, it's still hard to get someone motivated enough. And I don't know why, because people go to school knowing that they're only going to, they go to college knowing they're only going to make $60,000, $70,000 a year. But what we have found is it's still hard to get someone motivated enough to watch the videos and apply discipline in practicing every day and becoming a window film installer. Yeah. But that's what cracks me up about this industry, is that everyone that knows how to tint at one point in time has exuded self-discipline to learn how to tint. And I wish everyone would apply that same discipline to posting on social media with the intention of building a personal brand. But here's the thing, is that you have to be able to do it for a long period of time with no reward. So you have to have discipline and delayed gratification. But now that we have a personal brand and a strong brand at that, it seems as if we could just print money. Like I made a brand deal this morning, $1,000 for 250,000 views. Mm-hmm. So they're sending me a roll of film. It's Miracle Coat PPF, by the way. They're sending me a roll of film, a full roll of PPF, which is valued at what?
I think it's $1,500.
$1,500, $1,000 cash for 250,000 views across all platforms, which really for our team is about 2 videos. Mm-hmm. So we make 2 videos, I make $1,000, and we get a free roll of high quality PPF. Mm-hmm. But that's only because we've done the years of consistency.
Yeah, that just reminded me of like talking to a business owner recently, and he was like, well, that's easy for you guys because you get, X amount of free product, given to you every month. And it's like, well, it's not just like it was given to us. We earned it because we've been doing this for a decade, and like you said, building our following up, and that's what got us to where we are now.
And by the way, the podcast that I just recently did with Andy Elliott, I start crying like a baby in it, and he asks me why, and I said because I'm a beast, because I couldn't, put the words together in that moment. I was just thinking about all the years of being consistent with no reward. So if you haven't checked out that podcast, you got to check it out. We'll link it below somewhere. But that's exactly what I was thinking about, is all the years of staying consistent, being stressed out. Because I hear it all the time. People are like, well, I can hardly get cars done on time. I'm busy in the shop. There's so much that goes on in the shop that is stopping you from being able to put out content. We did it anyways for years with no reward. I mean, I feel like it literally took us until like 2020 to get to 20,000 followers. Which, if you watch Gary Vee's content now, at the time of this recording, 2025, like, followers are not that significant in regards to how viral a video can go. So it's really more about views than it is followers. Yeah, followers look good when people come over to your page. I do think they help build credibility, but really it's about how many views your video is getting. And a guy with 10,000 followers can still get 10 million views on a video. We just had somebody in my one-on-one coaching program that had less, at the time of the video, had less than 50,000 followers, get a video with 15 million views. That's insane. And that's what we sell now, is we sell views. So like I just mentioned in that Miracle Coat PPF deal, we're selling views. It has nothing to do with followers.
I do think, like, obviously they go hand in hand, because when you get a lot of views, then it can equate to a lot of followers. And I do think some of the larger companies we work with do still look at followers.
Sure.
It's like, great, you have 10,000 followers and you got a 15 million video, but I think they would be more confident going with an account that's 150,000 and consistently gets 25,000 views per video, because you just have that consistency. But it all depends.
So the biggest surprise in starting the Tintstitute is that you didn't think that we would start coaching business owners outside of this industry.
Yeah, because it's like the Tintstitute grew with us, because we started like teaching everyone. We were learning as it grew. So obviously, like, you were getting better and better as an installer, but what exponentially grew is like us as leaders and us as business owners, and our policies and procedures and our operations. So that's how we were able to make the digital assets. And then, we found out more and more what the industry wanted, which is why we have the subscription option. But then we started building out the courses, because people wanted a more structured curriculum that they could go through. The Tintstitute is definitely going to have to be a 2-part video, but I do want to end with, like, what was so hard about staying consistent with the Tintstitute is that we had a team of about 7 people at the time, but we were still doing most of the revenue generating work. And we were trying to figure out how to get our team to be able to do anything.
Oh my God.
So we had like 3 installers, and like you would go on a flat glass and come back and like nothing would be done. And we had, 2 people in the office, but it was like they had to be micromanaged on everything. And, we had someone running the print equipment that I was overseeing, but then things were constantly getting misquoted, misprinted. So it was just like putting out fires everywhere, feeling like we were losing money everywhere. And then on top of that, it's like, oh, we still need to make time to film and edit. So like you would be filming and like you would be so pissed off because you were having to like redo work or like stay late to do work. And then by the time the filming was done, I would have to stay till like 7 or 8 to edit the videos to put them up. And it was just like such a cluster.
And well, 2 things. The idea is that I'm already tinting the car, so all you have to do is film it. Mm-hmm. But then I misspeak, I stutter, and we have to redo it, and it ends up adding, a little bit more time than expected. But at the end of the day, better than doing something totally different, like working together as couples. So, I mean, it's true that like I'm already tinting the car, I'm already doing whatever it is that we film, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Nothing's as easy as it sounds. But remember when we first moved to this shop, which was how many years ago now? 7 or 8 years ago?
We moved here in 2019.
Okay, so 2019, so about 6 years ago.
2018, something like that.
But like I bought a Santa Maria style barbecue, and my idea was to make street tacos once a week. The very first time I tried it, I literally couldn't even barbecue street tacos because the team needed me so much inside. Mm-hmm. And so it's just crazy to think how much things have changed just in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about it yesterday, and I was like, in the last 15 years, we've been able to accumulate 4 California properties. Well, not really. It's been like in the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. So now that the ball's rolling, so to speak, and we have momentum, we're making leaps and bounds improvement year after year. So remember I said that yesterday, I was like, in theory, we should be able to accumulate 4 more properties in the next 15 years. Well, I don't think that's true. I think more or less we should be able to accumulate 4 more properties in the next 3 years.
And there's like, I don't know, there's like, I used to be so resistant, like, you know, started off with a bad taste in my mouth with the Rad Life store. Like, I used to be so resistant to new ideas and like, you want to do like a change. But I feel like as we've grown as business owners, it's like, I know that I need to be adaptable. There's benefits to always learning new things, learning new business models, and the businesses do play off of each other in multiple different ways. Like you said, we have more funds available to invest. We have resources to be able to help me manage the properties. There's tax benefits, cash flow benefits, leadership benefits. So there's just like a lot of benefits from having these like multiple businesses that play off each other and that we operate.
So going back to 2017 when we start the Tintstitute, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently? Like the whole journey. Or maybe not the whole journey, maybe just one specific thing, or like what you would change about the whole journey knowing what you know now. I think for me, we would have because for a long time we focused on Instagram and we kind of neglected YouTube. And for me, I think I would have tried to stay more consistent with YouTube.
That's
which I don't even know how we could have, because like resources, the reason why we did was because the lack of resources, not just because I didn't see value in it. I just don't think I weighed the value of YouTube properly on my scale.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one, because like YouTube has such good payouts for monetization. And so like in theory, if we had put some videos out consistently, we probably could have gotten monetized from that. When I look back and like you asked me like what you would have changed, like I always think like we did so much, I don't think we could have done any more, but it's like what would we have done differently? I don't know.
That's like the David Goggins thing, showing up to heaven and having him like show you the whiteboard and be like, we couldn't have done anything right.
We couldn't have done anything better. We did it all. Oh my gosh.
What about just the name? Because remember how the name came about? Like it was either going to be the Tintstitute, or we had somebody in our office at the time, Erin, right? Mm-hmm. She was like, what if you called it the Tintstitute? Mm-hmm. And then we like joked around about it for a couple days. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, and I was like, you know what, let's do that. And that's what it was. We just recently changed the name of the Instagram to Official Austin Cook to make it more broad, so that people don't think I'm only coaching business owners in the tinting industry. I coach small business owners with less than 25 team members. That's the name of our book that is being released soon. 25 leadership hacks for businesses under 25 team members, which I feel like have a unique challenge because most business owners with less than 25 team members aren't that influential. And obviously, if you're not that influential, it becomes hard to lead people. So the 25 leadership hacks are designed to help a small business owner build their influence amongst their team. And there are 25 things that we do simultaneously. Some of them are smaller than others, but we do all 25, and that's what's really changed our business. I think I would have done more content with you. I know like it's more of a fantasy than anything else, but like doing more content with you along the way. But like, again, having the time to do that is like, we didn't have time to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of things that we did right and that I'm happy that we did. Like we always, collected people's information. Like we, consistently did email sends. We were consistent in posting. We did evolve our products with market demand. So it's hard to say what would have been different. Yeah, and then, just like you said, what could we have improved? I think with both our brick and mortar and the Tintstitute, one thing that I was scared to do or hesitant to is like the owner of a business should never be scared to do sales. And it's like at the end of the day, it's all about revenue, and the owner needs to be able to generate sales for the business. So I could have done way better at that, starting from the very beginning to now. Now I make multiple sales calls a day just out of habit, and that has such a huge impact on your bottom line at the end of the year.
But hindsight's always 20/20 in the sense that like we didn't for one, there's times where we don't think that we need to do sales because we're so busy. Mm-hmm. And for two, like you're doing so many other things. Mm-hmm. Only now that we have the resources, meaning you have the time to do sales, are you doing sales? But in the past it was like, is that really the best use of my time? Like you were at the printer, mm-hmm. you were talking to customers.
Yeah.
So, just
I guess
being aware of that.
It would be hard to change this, but just like having a mindset shift, because it's like I would have so many like limiting beliefs, like, well, how much money can we really make off of this business? Or, is it really going to make a difference if we do this? So just being more open-minded about the possibilities, and like you've pushed me so much that I've gotten to see the fruits of our labor when we do like try different things, that now I'm not so reluctant to do those things.
So all in all, I'm really happy that we started the Tintstitute. I still love the business model. I love helping people. I love shooting content every day. I love the team that we've built here. We're a team of 5 now, the Tintstitute. Mm-hmm. At Quality, 17 team members. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited for what's coming in the future, which we potentially have our first speaking engagement mm-hmm. at the Tint Off this year. So a lot of things are happening. So in the next episode, we're going to talk more about the Tintstitute. I want to talk about our first brand deal, when we really started to get traction, and just the evolution of the different product offerings.